directly across the showbiz world. With that being said, first I'm going to talk about why I start with churches and go after churches, Protestants and Catholics alike, with the saying that. Basically, everything begins in the church. And when stuff begins in other places, not in the church, then there's something wrong with the biblical aspect when you're supposed to be following after God's decree first, and the church is supposed to be honoring that above even the legalities and what the state representatives may say, no matter if they've elected or them or chosen to be their election or not. So everything begins in the church first. That's why I go after them first. So this is to Topeka, Kansas, and all you protesters out in Topeka, Kansas, especially those Christians out there. Those last year protesting that devil worshiping cult groups that is at the state capitol building. I call all you protesters out, and all these people that's recently out there for these No Kings events. Where's your No Kings leaders? I call out your No Kings leaders and tell them and challenge them and say, hey, where are you? Face this advocate. Because if you ignore one advocate, you're ignoring all the advocates out here. So where's your leaders at? Where's your people at? Or are you just out there unorganized with no message, no anything? And that's why when I drove past your stuff, there's signs saying everything from no fascists to we hate taxes to fuck Trump. All sorts of just off the wall stuff. No one has a centralized point or motive or something that they want. So where these protesters standing up for anybody's rights? They're just out there attention seeking, it seems like. So here's a case. Join me and my party. In this case, not my party. There's no party going on. Join me and follow me and show up at the court case. And I say follow me in that case. Showing up at the court case. And showing these political leaders, this judge that I'm going to be facing, that where they want to violate my Bill of Rights, the Fourth Amendment, where they intruded upon my property and they attacked me, and basically the police officers that used excessive force against me and charged me with assault against them. And how can me? I got videos of that, so review those videos if you doubt what I'm saying, because I was just trying to prevent me from getting choked to death. My chin was down from trying to prevent me from getting choked to death, and with a monkey on my back pushing me down the ground. It's like, how can I go to my? I don't want to smack my face on the ground. Well, listen, if you just follow the rules and don't do what you said, don't use excessive force on me. Basically. So review those videos if you think I'm doubting the situation. I'm calling all you protesters in Topeka, Kansas out, and for anyone, hello, welcome everyone that's coming here. The video will be eventually about this new conspiracy that you've seen on the thumbnail, or if you've seen some other place, I'm going to go over the law and statutes of what's been violated. But right now I'm calling out some protesters, so check that out here in a little bit. Right now, these protesters in Kansas, where are you? They all involved with the military and all involved with the churches, and why I go after the military also in the churches, and there's a biblical backing that I go off of verses. Basically, these military is in violation and acting careless to their responsibilities and their oaths. And if there wasn't, then there would be never been a case in my situation in the first place. And I wouldn't be in this situation in the first place if they was honoring the rights and honoring the oaths that they took and everything. So, if you want more information on my case, there's my emails I left in the description. Contact me through the email, and I'll get you back. It's a one-on-one basis, so you'll be first come, first serve on that situation. So now, any questions so far? Thank you for the people who stuck around. I appreciate that. Any questions so far? All right, moving along. Where is it? All right, here's the situation. Here's the new conspiracy. Everyone wants to talk about how these politicians are puppets or actors and everything like that out there. So if they're puppets and actors, I'm not saying they are or are not, but if they are puppets and actors, who's the one really in charge running this stuff and running the show behind the scenes? Is it these big corporations, big organizations? I'm here to say no, it's not. That's where people want to jump to this conspiracy. Let me pull everyone back to the real conspiracy, what's going on. Because I've followed, basically you can say the money trail, followed this situation. When I went to this state capitol building, well, hold on, wait, backtrack. My kids was kidnapped. I spent years learning the law, learning the biblical rights, why they made the law in the first place, where religious rights had come into play. I took years of learning and studying this stuff until finally, about 2018, I'm like, I'm going to send this petition, as it says in the law, to the governor office. So I sent an 18-page petition detailing the whole situation over the past 7-8 years previous at that time. And then she wants to ignore me. I sent this letter certified. So I show up to the court. I show up to this Capitol buildings. I'm sitting there for like a week straight, almost 8 hours each day, sitting there waiting for that governor to show up so I can speak to her in a meeting and discuss and approach her. And here's the law I'm going to back up. As Kansas Bill of Rights, it's number 3. The people have the right to assemble in a peaceable manner, to consult consult for their common good, to instruct their representatives, and to petition the government or any department thereof for the redress of grievances. So I'm going to take a pause right there, take a drink, but that's the bill. The law, Bill of Kansas Rights. That's not the Bill of Rights, but that's the Kansas State Bill of Rights. And in that law, people, that's a person as well. A person can go petition them, because if there was not a person, there would not be people. They talk about people in law because they're addressing a multitude of people in the society and the people out here, civilians. So when this person goes to petition them with this 18-page letter, what goes in a petition? Basically the statement of situation and inform them what's going on, the laws to back it up, and the request of what you want fixed, or if it doesn't get fixed, this is the situation at hand, what you got, what's ending that, what's going to be, termination. So I send all this in this petition and to instruct the representative to do their responsibilities and do what's right. I sat there for a week. Finally, the secretary decided to sit down and talk with me. This secretary sit down, we talked, had a general conversation, I told her the situation, basically what I wrote in all the paperwork, I was like, but I'm trying to bring this to the governor. I'm trying to talk to the governor. And the secretary literally told me, didn't look nothing like this. I'm short-haired, I call her dyke bitch, but short-haired governor bitch. And she is short and fat, this secretary was. This secretary goes and says, I'm the person you meet. You're not going to speak to any governor. I'm the governor, and I'm going to violate your constitutional rights. And I just looked at her, it's like I should have had this recorded, but I just looked at her, I was dumbfounded, because I knew if I said anything, I was going to go to jail. I was going to look like the madman in the situation. But here she is, the secretary, sitting in the governor's office in the governor's seat, telling me that she's going to violate my rights. This petition, where I petitioned the governor to be responsible, instruct them to, do what's responsible in my case, because my children were kidnapped by these judicial terrorists where I did all the situations multiple times, and they're continuing to make me do the things over and over and over after I passed successfully, wasting my money and basically keeping me separate from the children even longer, so the story can be told that I wanted nothing to do with them, and all based upon the ex cheating on me. So they're violating the first situation, the Kansas rights, because in any divorce, the person who cheats on the person, such as the ex cheated on me, I should have received everything. But no, in their female state, and this is where people want to lie about female state, in their female state, they stated that she has the right to get the children, and she has the right for everything after the situation. Well, I don't know what this message restricted is, but anyways, that's kind of the story of the situation. The conspiracy is basically you have no governor. And if someone proved me, and what brought this up, I seen just recently something about the governor speaking, like she was vetoing something along those lines. Well, if she's vetoing something, where is she? There is no governor. And people need to stand up and show me otherwise. So, let's see where we go. That's about it. Basically, I'm just going to remind everyone, we're going through a golden riot. That's basically what's going on. If everyone looks up golden riot, it's back in like 1770s, early 70s, as pre-revolution. As basically the British soldiers who basically started beating up people and caused a riot and caused unpeaceable manner, but they all claimed it was for peace, as for finding a peaceful resolution. What they thought beating people up was finding a peaceful resolution, much like they did to me recently. So we're basically reliving a golden riot situation here in the U.S., and that's what people need to face. If you don't like it, not my choice. I didn't cause the stuff. I'm just calling it out, how it is, and what I've personally experienced and what I've sought out. So anyone who's still around, let's get some subscribes. Let's have a good day.